better roll them dice. You never know if it could change your life. Take a chance, you're neither wrong or right. You never know if you don't roll them dice. You better roll them dice. You never know.
Howdy, Rob.
Howdy, Matt. And good evening, listeners. Welcome back to another episode of Dungeon Master of None, where
I just have one thing to say, which is
things.
I want these mother shipping snakes off my mother shipping spaceship station.
I want these mothers off my ships.
Yes.
The mother. We're talking about Mothership again.
Yes.
I hope that you like being horrified in space. I hope that you like when no one can hear you scream. I hope you like body horror, but also psychological horror. But sometimes psychological horror that is about body horror, because we're doing Mothership again.
Yeah. And of course, the greatest horror of all, space capitalism.
Space capitalism.
It turns out that the villain from Red Alert was wrong. Space is in fact corrupted by capitalism.
Right. Tim Curry is incorrect. There is no place that is safe from capitalism, including and especially space.
I'm escaping to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism. Space!
Specifically, we're talking about the Hull Breach Mega supplement. We're on a supplement kick here.
Yeah.
Developed by Ian Newsom and designed by Eric Hill, Lone Archivist, Meredith Silver, and a bunch of authors, because it's got a bunch of stuff.
It is technically an anthology. There are 26 sci-fi horror articles. These can kind of be standalone, but we're going to talk about why I think Hull Breach is brilliant, but it really ties them all together and some other stuff from existing Mothership supplements into like a full-on a campaign setting. That is basically what this is. This is intended to be a campaign setting or a campaign in and of itself. And I think that it very much succeeds in this goal, which is quite impressive, I think.
Yeah, if you're not a Patreon subscriber and you're like, hey, I'm not gonna get this whole thing, but I'm still interested. Hull Breach is like after reading it, I'm like, oh, I got my nice box set from back in the Kickstarter days, and it's great. And I've run a lot of one shots. This is perfect for making your kind of freeform, string a bunch of things together campaign, plus just maybe making you a better DM. It felt like to me like the other half of the game that I didn't know I wanted.
Absolutely. I definitely feel like this filled out some stuff that I wanted from Mothership. And Mothership, as we've said a bunch, is great and is a really good setting. The books are great, but this really added some meat to the bones that I thought that I was surprised to find I thought were kind of necessary. It was really good stuff. And even if you're not interested in Mothership, even if you're not necessarily interested in running a space campaign, there's a lot of really good advice in this book, a lot of tools that you can use. You should, if you're at all interested, look, I run a Mothership campaign. This is extremely exciting to me. It has a bunch of tools, a bunch of things that I'm going to use and hack and borrow, tables and charts and NPCs, items. It's great. It's really good. It's just a very great book on GMing for a specific type of campaign, but also GMing in general. A lot of resources, especially for Mothership.
So essentially, big picture things, it's almost like a Mothership zine, but if that zine were large, aka a book.
Yeah.
So it's 238 pages of adventures, locations, factions, a setting, and GM advice. I think we're going to start with the Warden GM advice, but first, I did want to mention, we'll go into some details. The idea of taking all these disparate parts, like, ooh, here's a wacky item for like a teleporter that could be in any adventure, or here's a thing for an alien or a corporate faction or a complete adventure. But by putting them in this kind of loosely fleshed out campaign setting, the public sector, not Publix, you Floridians and Georgians and people in the southeast, a public sector, which is just a region of 3-star systems controlled by an evil megacorp.
Yep.
Where you can link all of the things here, and there's advice for linking other Mothership products. So it's a real like, hey, where does this fit kind of thing. It's really good for that.
Yeah, and within the public sector, you have 3 campaign frameworks, and these are I really like the idea of campaign frameworks. Daggerhearts had something similar with campaign frames. And the 3 suggestions that you have, and these are just bullet points, these are just sort of like themes for your campaign. They're rim space survival, right? Trying to survive crushing debt under the company yoke or break corporate bonds. There's core space intrigue, which is navigating high stakes politics and schemes among the corporate elite. And then there's frontier exploration, surviving alien threats and hostile environments under the light of an unfamiliar star. There are obviously other frames and themes that you can have in a campaign, but they've tied material and adventures from the book to these 3 big ideas, so that if you need somewhere to start, you've kind of been given a really excellent step up. I really like, and again, these are just like bullet points, just 3 little chunks that tell you basically how to start a campaign. I think this is really neat.
It's amazing how the 2 things, the core book of a role-playing game establishing the way to write for this role-playing game, which is economical, efficient, evocative, short text, bullet points.
Minimalist. I mean, you're given
it filters
sentences
down though to this third party, thing. It's so cool.
It is. And it really works because the voice and the style of the original Mothership book is so strong that it's easy to, I think, write in that style, and everybody who comes after is kind of like working within that house style just by following that footsteps. It's a real testament to the strength of Mothership's design.
Second thing, if a game, a system, or any RPG product cannot tell you what it's supposed to be, or if it's broader, like this one is, tell you at least a couple possibilities for what it's supposed to be, this is a new theory of mine, it probably sucks. If it can't do that, if it doesn't, it doesn't really know, if it's just kind of like, this is here, whatever. If you don't know, if you the author don't know, then I don't want to read your thing. But this one does, and I like it.
This is part of a longer conversation that Matt and I are going to have. But I agree that, if you don't have a strong sense of identity, the game's probably not good. And Whole Breach has a very strong sense of what it can and could be.
Okay, should we get to the I think the most interesting part for our podcast, which is horror advice.
Yes. It's divided into 5 sections: intel, missions, locations, entities, and assets. And intel is broadly GM advice. How to run these games. And it starts with a discussion of how to create a sense of dread. And I wasn't expecting this section, and I was delighted by it, because it's based on a pretty, and this is short, this is just a couple of pages, but a pretty defensible premise, and a good one, which is that to make something spooky, you need to use senses besides sight. And it talks specifically about taste, smell, sound. And Matt and I have talked before about how hard it is how to scare your players, how to make something scary in a TTRPG. And I still sort of maintain that you shouldn't try too hard, but this is really good advice.